Okay, so the question is about the
So basically, I wasn't really quite sure what you meant by iteratively eliminating versus like dominating and
let's
stuff.
do an example like this. Say this is probably not the same one as in the let's see. Let's just do it too. Okay, so let's do this. So for 1, does A dominate B? Is the payoff from A always bigger than the payoff from B? No, right?
No.
Because 3 is less than 4. Does B dominate A strongly?
No.
Right, because 1 is less than 4. How about for 2? What's
2 we have... Yeah, 2B dominates 2.
Yeah, so 3 is bigger than 1, 5 is bigger than 0, right? So for person 2, playing A is always worse than B, right? Regardless of what 1 does. Right?
Correct.
So we can cross this out like that. Okay, so now in this deal, what is 1 going to do if we eliminate this? And so we only have this game left. What is 1 going to do?
So 1A is greater than 1B.
Right, so sort of this dominates this, right?
Right.
So we can cross this out. So what we did is iteratively, in the sense that, see, in the beginning, it wasn't the case that A dominated B, right? In the original game, right, this 3 is less than 4, right? So it wasn't like originally A did not dominate B. A only dominates B in the smaller game when we get rid of that, right?
Okay, true.
Yeah, so that's the iterative part. So once I get rid of one strategy, then sometimes I can eliminate more, and that's the iterative part.
So then the concept of that part is just saying that you, so like how would you, like how would you define it then? Like if you were to define it.
Oh, it's just
it's so like a process of just like eliminating.
Yeah, exactly right. So I mean, so there are obvious questions like, you know, what order? If, for example, if they can eliminate more than 1, do I have to do them in a certain order? That kind of thing. But we'll talk about that. But yeah, it's defined as, first we define what a strongly dominated strategy is, right? So we know that. So we eliminate those which are strongly dominated, and once you do those, then maybe you can eliminate some more, and so you just keep on doing that.
So the whole process is the iterative process.
So that process of getting rid of stuff is iterative. Let's see, we can do another one.
Actually, can we do a 3x3?
Yeah, sure.
That's okay.
So I just have to think about how to do it in my head.
I think I have the notes if you want to refer.
No, well, let's do a different one. It's fine.
Okay.
Let's see if I can just come together. Let's see, like this.
Because this was one that I didn't quite understand. Like I wasn't really sure like with the Cindy Gucci example.
Okay, no problem.
What was going on?
That's fine. So yeah, this game here. Okay, so it's a 3x3. See if the focus is okay. It looks okay, yeah?
Oh, it looks fine.
Alright.
I mean, to like read it looks fine, yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, alright. So let's see if there's any domination. What about A and B for 1? For 1, does A dominate B?
Okay, so my question is, when you look at A versus B,
right,
do you look at this and this and this and that?
Right.
So you don't look at this.
No. Right. The definition is, for A to dominate B, the payoff from A must be greater than the payoff from B, irregardless of what everyone else does. So let's do that.
Okay.
If person 2 does A and 3 does A, right? Say that we assume that, then 1 is choosing between A or B, right? So 1 is choosing between this 1 and this 0.
Okay.
If person 2 plays B and 3 plays A, then 1 is choosing between this 0 and this 1.
Wait. Say it
So
again,
say that 2 plays B and 3 plays A, and 1 is choosing between
And
this 0 and this 1.
Okay, right.
So what 1 is not doing, 1 is not choosing between these numbers, right? Because 1 can't control the column, right? These are different because of what 2 does. Right?
Okay, so this is between 2A and 2B?
Yeah, so 1 is comparing this number and these two numbers together, and these two numbers together, right?
Okay.
1 is not comparing this number with this.
Okay, that was my... Okay,
Yeah.
so when you say, like, difference between 1A and 1B, you're
Right.
comparing these.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Right.
But are you going to also compare these?
Okay, so for the definition, if A were to dominate B, this number has to be bigger than this for all 4 cases. So for example, if this were a 6, say, and like this were a 6, well, let's do what we have here first. Okay. 1's bigger than 0, right? But 0 is less than 1, right? So 1A does not dominate 1B.
Right, okay.
So if this were a 6, like that, then 1's bigger than 0, 6 is bigger than 1, 1's bigger than 0, 6 is bigger than 1. So no matter what 2 and 3 do, A is bigger than B.
Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, I think I see it now. So you can kind of look at it as like this being like 2C, this being like 2D, and just look at it all in like
You could
a
do that,
row,
yeah,
and just being like this.
That's fine, yeah.
Oh,
You
okay,
can think of it that way. Basically, it's just, remember, the payoff from 1 has to be bigger than the payoff from A has to be bigger than the payoff from B, regardless of what everyone else does. So let's bring it back to the original thing. So, in the original payoffs, 1A does not dominate 1B, right?
Okay.
Similarly, 1B does not dominate 1A. How about per person 2? Do I have any domination here?
So, if we want to compare person 2, then we have to look at this versus this.
Hold on. So, if person 2 is choosing between A and B, right?
Oh, sorry, this and this.
Right, exactly.
My bad, yeah,
Okay.
right.
So, for example, is A always better than B? Well, let's choose. Let's see. 6 is bigger than 4?
Yes, and then 4 is greater than 1. And 5 is greater than 0, and 7 is right, okay.
Yeah, so we have 2A does strongly dominate 2B. Okay, how about person 3? Does, for example, 3A dominate 3B? What am I comparing for person 3?
So let me see, hold on. So if 1A was like this, and then 2A, we're looking at the column. So then for 3A, we should be looking at these two? No, these two?
Okay, what does person 3 control? So another way to think about it is 3 is choosing between A and B, right? If 1 does A and 2 does A, 3 can now choose between A and B, right? If he chooses A, he gets this 4, right?
Right.
If he chooses B, what would he get?
In the same row?
Yes, okay. Assuming that person 1 does A, 2 does A.
Right, so then he would choose this one.
Right. If he does B, what does he get?
So then you move to here.
Yeah, exactly, right? He would get this 3.
Okay.
So he's comparing this 4 and this 3.
Okay.
So, okay, so let's see this. So does 3A strongly dominate 3B? Well, 4 is bigger than 3, yes? Is 0 bigger than 7? No. Right. Okay, so A does not dominate B. For person 3. 3A does not dominate 3B. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So let's make a notation. Say I made this an 8, and this like a 9, right? So now in this case, for person 3, does A dominate B?
So 4 is greater than 3,
Yeah.
8 is greater than 7,
Right.
5 is greater than 2, and 9 is greater than 2.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Makes sense. So okay, so again, a lot of this is just remembering what to compare with what.
It's like much easier when you like actually write it out. But
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
looking at it, it confuses me like when I see
Oh
that.
yeah, it is confusing, especially when you've seen it the first time. Okay, so now let's go back to our original deal, and then I want to have a better eraser, but let's do the iterative thing. Okay, so now 2A strongly dominates 2B. That's an original thing, right? Because what 6 is bigger than 4, 4 is bigger than 1, 5 is bigger than 0, 7 is bigger than 2. Yes.
Yes.
So person 2 should never play B, right? Since it's strongly dominated.
Yes.
A is always better, so therefore we cross this out like that. Okay? So this person 2 doesn't play B. I guess we can do this, whatever. Okay?
Okay.
Now, can we do some sort of iterative thing now? In this smaller game, now when 2 only has one strategy, does, for example, 1A strongly dominate 1B?
So now we have to look at every single column, or just the 1A and the 1B still?
Yeah, so person one only cares about this comparison, right?
Right. So I'm saying, like, would we go like this?
Yes.
And then like this?
Right.
Okay.
Because this doesn't exist anymore. You just ignore this, right?
Right. Okay.
Okay. So in this remaining game, does 1A strongly dominate 1B?
1's greater than 1, or 1's greater than 0, 1's greater than 0.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It does. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So in the smaller game, 1 would never play B. So what I usually do is, this is like step 1. So this is my step 1. It's first eliminating this. So we eliminate. So step 2 is going to be what? Now we're going to eliminate this guy. Right? 1's never going to play B. Because 1A strongly dominates.
So wait, so just by saying that 1A
Mm-hmm.
dominates 1B off this 1,
Mm-hmm.
you're able to...
Oh, no, it's this and this. So it has to be the case that remember, now we're looking at the smaller game, right?
Right.
And for the domination, it has to be that no matter what anyone else does, the payoff from A has to be bigger than the payoff from B. So we just check this, and we check this. Now, for example,
I see.
so if this were like an 8 or something like that, we couldn't eliminate it. We couldn't just eliminate one side, right?
Right.
It has to be the case for no matter what everyone else does.
Okay, so wait, so let's say, for example, this was 8.
Right.
So then we would just move on. We would look.
Yeah, well, in this case, if this were an 8, then 1A would not dominate 1B.
Right.
And then you couldn't eliminate anything for 1.
Right.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do any elimination at all. But
so then at that point we wouldn't even look at like these other numbers.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, you would. One only cares about his payoff. He doesn't care about anyone else.
Right, about anybody else.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, let's go back. Okay, so now we eliminated 1. Now there's only, in this smaller game, there's only this and this, right? So what is person 3 going to do?
So you have to look at this and
Right.
this.
Exactly.
So 4.
Right. Exactly. So 3's not going to play B, right? He's going to play A. So we can get rid of this. This is like step 3. 3A strongly dominates 3B. And then, so the prediction in the end is what? 1 plays what? A? 2 plays what?
I don't know. Let me
Oh.
see. Wait, 1 plays 1A. Hold on. 1 plays 1A. 2 plays. 2 plays 2.
Yeah, 2A. A.
2A.
Yeah.
And then 3 plays 3A.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay. I guess maybe I'm making it harder than it looks like. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the key thing is understanding the definition of domination, and also just knowing which numbers to compare with what. That's the main thing. It's easy to get confused, but yeah, 1 only cares about these comparisons. 2 only cares about these comparisons, right? That's her number, and this is what she compares. And then 3 compares this with this, this with this, this with this, this with this.
Yeah. Because I know like for example with like the homework, when I wrote it out, that's how you did it. But when you look at the final result and then you compare it, it's like, okay, wait, what am I comparing? But that makes sense. Let me quickly write that down.
Yeah. You can take this if you want.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because I just want to make sure that I know. So this is with this,
Right, exactly.
and then so this is with this, this is with this.
Right.
That's with that, that's with that.
Right.
Right, okay. So, and then for 2's, we're looking at 2 to 2,
Right, exactly.
2 to 2. Yeah,
Right.
okay.
This actually, the colors would work out well here because you could see just because it would be the same color and all that.
Right.
So,
2, 2. And then 3's, because these are the last
yeah.
comparing here, right?
No, but yeah. I'm
Or sorry, comparing here.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
exactly
I'm
right.
sorry.
Yeah.
Right, comparing here.
Yeah, that's a good graph.
And 5, 2, 2. Okay. Okay. Can we quickly go over like a 3, like this one?
Oh, 3 by 3?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if we can do that.
Kind of thing. So in that case, like, sorry,
Okay.
but in the one we just did actually, the preference, for example, with like Cindy having like Gucci versus Prada or whatever that was, like, these are the outcomes based off the preferences, right?
Yeah, the preferences are given by numbers. Yeah. Right.
Okay, so like let's say for example, because I know like in discussion today, like she made it clear that like we don't have any preferences, so that's why like we're able to like play a certain game, whereas like she was saying in class there were particular preferences. Like do you know the difference there, where, or no?
I'm not sure I'm getting at what you're saying. No.
Let me see. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me see.
I'm gonna get my markers too, so I'll use the colors.
Maybe there's okay. Can we do this example?
Sure.
Okay. Sorry. Can we do this one here?
Okay. 3 social science students are either applying for single summer positions in Washington, D.C. Job pays $2,000. They'll probably receive the job as probably 1 divided by the number of applicants, right?
Yeah.
Draw the game. Draw the game if you plus 5. You see costs here. Okay, so let's see.
This was the scenario that we came up with the chaos and stuff.
Oh, okay. So let's see.
So yeah, so this was like player 1, apply or not to apply.
Okay.
This was player 2, apply, not apply, and then this was player 3, applying, and then same thing, not applying.
Okay.
The thing is that like getting the payoffs was okay, but like when you started to delete, like when we started to delete them, she went into this discussion about how we could simplify it into this, where it's like player 1 could apply or not apply, and you could say like no one applies, only 1 person applies.
Oh, I
both
see what
apply.
you're saying. Okay, let's do this all out then.
Okay.
The I'm gonna write this down with my colors now.
Okay.
So have it.
Alright.
So one can either apply or not.
Yes.
And then do this. Not and then not. And then 2 is either gonna apply or not. And 3 will either apply or not. Okay, so push off these $3,000. If everyone applies, then should I give you more? Yeah, everyone gets 1,000, right?
Yeah.
No.
Maybe a little bit bigger, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit bigger. Okay, if everyone applies, everyone gets 1,000. Okay. If no one applies, then what happens? Everyone gets 0, yeah?
Correct. Except wait, if no one applies, then you have to make it 0, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you meant here. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, are we putting the cost in there yet? Do you want to put the cost?
Well, we don't really know what the cost is.
Okay, so we're not doing the cost yet.
Yeah. Last one's great.
Okay, so this corresponds to what? 1 applying and 3 applying with 2 not. right? This one here. So then what are the payouts here going to be?
So if he applies, and he does not apply, and he applies, it'll be 15, 1500, 0, 1500.
Yeah. Good. Okay.
Right.
How about this one here?
So if he doesn't apply, it'll be 0.
Mm-hmm.
And if he applies and they apply, it'll be 15 for both of them.
Right. This one here?
Now, if this one does not apply, 0. Look good. 0, and then 0, and then 3000.
Right. Okay, how about this guy?
So applies, or does not apply. So 15, 15, 0.
Okay.
Right, and then that one applies. Does not apply. Does not apply. So 3000, 0, 0. You know, it's funny. Now I see what you mean when you say it's good to write in colors.
Yeah.
When you do it this way, it's much easier to
to
grab it to understand. And then so does not apply, applies, does not apply. So 0, 3000, 0.
Okay, so this is our game.
Correct.
So let's check domination. Okay, so does applying not? This is an N, I guess, or not? Oh, I put B's. I guess.
Oh no, I mean they look like ants, but
I guess yeah. This is apply or not apply. Okay. So is applying dominate, not applying? So I'm gonna play just like you had that little picture. Where's that little picture?
Oh,
here's right here.
Okay.
See this guy here, right? For one, I'm comparing this with this, like this with this, this with this, this with this. So does A dominate N for person 1? Is applying strongly dominate, not applying? Was 1,000 bigger than 0? Yeah.
It's 1500 and 0. 1500 and 3000. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
So you cross out not applying.
Right. So you could cross all this out.
Ah.
It's just grab the person 2. Does person 2 dominate for A? Does A dominate N for person 2? So I'm comparing what? No.
So then we're going to compare this with this.
Right, exactly. This with this. This with this. This with this. So does A dominate N strongly?
Yes.
Yeah. 1,000 bigger than 0, 15 bigger than 0, etc. etc. How about for person 3?
So then for person 3, we want to compare this with this.
Yeah, exactly.
So we see that 2,000 is bigger, 1,500 is bigger. Yeah, that's right.
Right.
So essentially, okay. So can we like with the pencil just like cross out?
Yeah, sure.
To visually see.
Oh yeah, sure.
We can do a pen too, but
yeah. So first, I mean, you can cross this out.
Correct.
Okay. Then if I do the iterative thing, then
we went to 2b or 2a versus 2n.
Right. So you can cross. So this is like my first one. I can cross these out. Right. This is like my second one. So if I write down like this, what first one is 1a strongly dominates. 1a, 2a strongly dominates. 2n. Third step is what?
We want to look at the 3s, the 3a's versus 3n's.
Right.
So we see that this dominates this and stuff.
Exactly. So this is my third one. 3a strongly dominates. So the prediction is what?
You guys should always apply.
Yeah, exactly. So that's right. This makes sense because no one ever applies any cost. One place, 1a, 2 place, 2a, place, 2a.
Quick question: when you cross this out, you're crossing this out?
No.
Or you're gonna cross the whole thing?
You're crossing out the entire, like, all this stuff. It's not just one pair, right? Because when N is dominated, it's like this person 2 doesn't even get to play this. If N2 is never going to play this, then this is complete. The entire thing is irrelevant. That's the argument.
So if the entire thing. Okay. Oh, okay. So that's why we start looking at the 3s because this is already crossed out.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Once it's crossed out, you can forget about it completely. You don't have to now like compare this and this.
Right. You don't have to compare that. Okay.
Right.
So essentially, when we were comparing, all we had to compare was this with this,
Right.
because that was the only thing that was left.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense now.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see if we can do one of those 3x3s that we've done. Let's see. Let's see if I can do one of these.
You can cross out. This dominates this. You cross that out.
Okay, so let's do this one.
Okay.
Oh, where's my green cap?
I think it flew.
Oh, okay.
I think it
Oh, I
flew
got
right
it.
there.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, cool, thanks. Okay, so what is it? Can we see the domination here?
Okay. Oh, should we write 2A, 2B, 2C on the
Oh
top?
yeah, right. Thanks.
Okay. So let me see. Hold on. So we look at. Okay. So let's look at these two first.
Right.
So this. No.
Right, because 5 is bigger than 2, but 3 is bigger than 0. Right? It's not like A is always better than B.
Right.
I would,
And this one is 2. Yes.
okay, so yeah, so 1B dominates 1C, right?
Right.
So that's my first step. 1B, in this case, strongly dominates 1C. So therefore, we
Recross that 1C.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is
The whole thing is
erased.
Right,
Okay.
exactly.
So then we want to look at, let's say like 2A versus 2B or something. So this is great, or this is less than this. This is great. Okay, so no, and same vice versa. And then 2B and 2C. Yeah, so 2B is greater than 2C.
So 2B strongly dominates.
2C.
One interesting thing here is also, actually, you see, notice A also dominates C, right? 4 is bigger than 2, 6 is bigger than 0.
Oh, I
So-
didn't notice that. Yeah, that's true.
In any case, whatever. Either way, this thing's not going to be played. Right? So that's so B dominates C strongly. Also A dominates C.
So C, no matter what C,
No matter what C.
So let's say because that brings a good point. When you want to see like which one strongly dominates, is there a certain pattern that you have to follow? Because I mean,
so we'll talk about it, but like, definitely, if something is strongly dominated, you'll never play that, right? But the thing which dominates, there's nothing special about it, right? Necessarily. For example, the fact that this dominates this and this dominates this doesn't tell us anything about whether these would be played.
right, but could it also be like contradictory within the game, where it's like, oh, this dominates this, but then this doesn't dominate something else?
But there is a way.
You know what I'm saying?
No, we'll talk about that a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, so there is
So,
that too.
okay, yeah.
Okay.
When we talk about a weak domination, especially, that will come up a little bit. Yeah.
But that's for later though. That's not gonna.
We'll talk about it on Tuesday. Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, so this is for.
So this is gone.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
So now we want to look at, let's say, 2A and 2B. We don't see anything. 1A. Oh, here we go. 1A and 1B.
Right.
So this is less than that. So 1A strongly dominates 1B.
I put a little 3, so this is kind of like a little explanation of what we're doing.
No, I like that. Good.
Yeah.
And then 7 and 4. Oh, but then these are equal. Okay, so 2B strongly dominates. So I guess I just go like that.
I'll make that my number 4. That's like the 4th step.
The first step.
And the final prediction is that 1 will play A and 2 plays B.
So then, so then you would like. So then your prediction would be 1A plays 5, 2B plays 7.
Yeah.
That's
So
your prediction, right?
what they play is this: 1 plays A, and he gets the payoff of 5. Yeah.
Oh, so so you don't word it that way. You say 1 plays A,
Right.
then 2 plays B.
Exactly
Okay.
right.
Okay.
These are the names of the actions. These are simply the the numbers they get, the payouts they get.
So when you, because I know in class you were talking about like there were certain terms you were like giving descriptions for, like you were saying prediction. One was like the iterative, and then there were a few other ones that I didn't write down, but it was like longer terms. It was like strongly dominates blah blah blah.
Oh, iterative elimination of dominated strategies? You mean?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, can we go over that?
That's not. This is the iterative elimination of dominates. This iterative elimination of strongly dominated strategies is just what we did. This process.
This process is what it is. Okay.
So yeah, so the way you would say it formally is something like by the iterative elimination of strongly dominated strategies, I predict one plays A, two plays B.
Oh, okay.
That's what we did. This whole procedure is called the iterative elimination of strongly dominated strategies.
Okay. Next question.
Yeah.
What if we have weak?
Oh,
domination?
okay. It's the same thing. It's just that. We'll do a similar one. The process is the same.
Man, like playing the same numbers, maybe changing one.
Yeah, exactly.
Could work.
Let's see. Let me see. So I'll put some of the same numbers in there. And then let's see. Okay, so we have this. So let's do the same thing.
Let's do it.
Okay, the first step is going to be what?
Let's see what strongly dominates the other one. So, we see that this way, yeah, so same. So 2B, so 1B, 1B dominates 2C.
Oh, 1C, right?
Oh, sure. Whoops, sorry, 1C.
And yeah, you write down strongly because that, just to be clear, so strongly dominates.
Strongly dominates. So, ouch.
Yep.
And then we want to see that. Okay, so this is interesting. Okay, so in this case, we have a strong domination,
Right.
but here we have a weak.
Oh yeah, shucks, I should have made it more interesting. How about I do this? Let's do this.
Okay.
So I'm make that a 6.
Okay.
You know what?
So here we have weak. Here we have no.
Right.
Okay. So we have weak domination. So
Right.
to a weakly dominates 2C. So if 2A weakly dominates 2C, we still cross out.
Yep. Yeah, so if I make my little numbers, so this is number
numbers
1,
are good.
and this is number 2.
Okay.
Yep.
Good. Now, so this dominates. So what strongly dominates 1B. So, and then this is your 3. Okay. And 4. Yeah. So 2B strongly dominates 2A. Okay. Okay. Right. So it's the same prediction then. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't change the game that much. Obviously, like if it was a completely different, then my prediction might be different.
Right. Then that might be different.
Yeah.
Okay.
The weak domination is not that. In terms of the process, all it changes is that before we had strong, now we have a weak one. But we'll talk about this on Tuesday. Sometimes when you do weak domination, you can have kind of weirdnesses where the order of elimination matters. So that's kind of a strange thing. Kind of like what you're talking about. They can have actually kind of contradictory things.
Oh, so we'll learn the order then. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, are we gonna go over the Nash equilibrium on Tuesday?
Tuesday, yeah.
Okay.
Because Nash equilibrium is on the homework due on Thursday, yeah. So
okay.
better do it, yeah, exactly.
Because I was looking at it, and I was like, okay, cool. Also, one quick thing. Here, when you meant there's no game, for example, don't worry about this.
Right.
You just want us to answer.
Yeah, don't just forget about this. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That's so. Yeah, you start with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can do that. Okay. Perfect. I think that was. Oh, also in your little here we go. In your game theory basics worksheet thing, this probably the same. I had a question. Here. Okay, so for example, in the game below, 1A dominates 1B, but 2A only weakly dominates 2A only weakly dominates 2B. Okay, wait, that wasn't it. Hold on. There was one that didn't make sense to me. Wait, maybe it was this one, in which 2B dominates 2A, 2B strongly dominates 2A, right? Oh, maybe it was okay. Never mind.
It's okay.
there was one that maybe it was another one. Okay, I think that should be okay then.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, should be good. All right.
Okay.
I appreciate your help.
No problem. Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. We'll see how many hits we get. I don't think it'll be very